You've reached my review for See No Evil 2, and if you were with me for the first film, you'll know that I did not like it one bit. I gave it half a bloody axe out of 5. I thought it was terrible. And the only reason I came back for the second one was because I knew that Danielle Harris and Catherine Isabelle were in it, and I thought to myself, well, you know what, even if they reproduce the same trash from the first movie, at least I'll have the consolation prize of watching those ladies in this movie, and it will elevate the material at least a little bit. And so what I expected to happen pretty much happened. You know, we get a slightly better film this time around. It's hard to write a film as bad as that first one twice. It is. This one's still a poor movie. There's no redemption story here today, but at least we get some better acting talent, and the overall experience is marginally improved. The plot, if you need it, is that Jacob Goodnight's body at the end of number 1 is transferred to this morgue. It's quite a large morgue. It's like a large hospital almost. And it's not long before he gets up that very same night and starts killing people left, right and centre again. There's only about 7 or 8 people in the morgue at the time that he gets up, so you know, a decent amount for a horror film. And that's that. But you know what? For the first third of this film, in other words, the part of the movie that doesn't involve Jacob Goodnight, I was actually quite enjoying this. Danielle Harris plays a character called Amy, and there's this whole will they, won't they thing going on between her and a character called Seth, which I thought was quite cute. I mean, there's no way he would stand a chance with her in real life, but given that this is the film world, I was like, go on, get in there, son, movie rules, you can do it. And there's some good camaraderie there with them and this guy in a wheelchair, and then some of their friends turn up for this surprise birthday party, and I was honestly having a good time with it. All this was enjoyable. I was thinking at one point, this is a 2.5 out of 5 movie, possibly. Average fare, not bad, not great. But eventually we have to get to the Jacob Goodnight parts, and that's when things don't quite go so well. It's not bad straight away. The first 5 or 10 minutes of him was okay. These first 2 kills were fine, but that's the thing. I can only stomach watching this guy for like 5-10 minutes tops, and after that, I just cannot do it after more. He's just too much. I just don't like him as a serial killer at all. When you watch killers like Jason and Michael Myers doing their thing, yes, you're rooting against them, but you still admire the way that they move, the way that they look. You know, you love to hate them sort of thing, but you'd never get those feelings with Jacob Goodnight. And it's nothing to do with the fact that those other guys have had 10 or 11 films with which to get acquainted with their audiences. You could put Goodnight in as many films as you want. He would still be crap. He looks crap. He's acted crap. I'm sorry, Kane is not an actor. His backstory's crap. Oh yeah, we get loads more of those irritating flashbacks that we got in the first movie where we see the young kid in the cage and his mum's tearing into him and that kind of thing. Except now it's worse, because now those clips are mixed in with flashbacks from the first movie at the hotel, and I definitely did not want to see anything of that ever again. And not only is Goodnight really overpowered and strong, but they make him really intuitive and clever. No sooner does he wake up in this film, it feels like he's running around, blocking off all the exits with trolleys and chains and things. He seems to know the layout of this morgue, even though he's never been in it before. Meanwhile, people who've worked there for years are like this. Are you sure the elevator's this way? Which floor are we on? 3rd floor? Hang on, that's a dead end, I'm sure of it. Didn't we just pass the stairs? You know, that kind of thing. Meanwhile, Goodnight's running around as if he's got a sat-nav in his head. He knows where everything is. He knows where everybody's going. Just after he's finished blocking off all the exits, he goes to the toilet of all places, and I'm pretty sure he's gone there for an actual whiz, because it wouldn't make any sense to camp out in there hoping for an ambush, because that's just one room out of what feels like about 100. And these characters are already panicked at this point, so they're going to be trying to get out. They're not going to be going to the toilet. And the only reason one person does go into the toilet is because it's this ditzy blonde who's being silly and just running blindly everywhere. But I don't think Goodnight has studied bimbo slasher film psychology, so I think he just got lucky. I think he was in there to use the toilet. If it was an ambush, why is he not hiding behind the door? Why is he in one of the cubicles? He could have been going in there for a dump. It feels like the film gets down to its last 2 protagonists way too quickly. I mean, there's still like 40 minutes to go at this point. And the film has spent all this time at the beginning setting up these characters, and Goodnight just comes along and knocks them all down like a bowling ball knocking down pins. It's quite irritating. And the moment that Danielle Harris dies as well, I mean, my interest just went at that point. And then we're just down to the nerdy guy Seth. And the film at this moment does what I've seen a lot of slasher films do. So basically, what happened is a killer will be really efficient. You know, they'll kill people in really quick ways throughout the movie, like, you know, coming up behind them and twisting their neck. And then when it gets to the final girl and the final boy, they'll change tack, and instead of killing them quickly, they'll pick them up, throw them against a wall, and loads of stuff will clatter, and then they'll pick them up again and throw them against that wall, and more stuff will bang around. They won't kill them quick. Even though it's a real mismatch, they'll try and make it out to be like it's some kind of big epic fight. But why? Why not just kill them quickly? Oh, I know why. Because it's the last fight in the movie and it's got to be really dramatic and stuff like that. You could argue that the reason a killer doesn't do this more towards the beginning of a slasher film is because at that point there are loads of other characters still floating around and he doesn't want to alert them to what he's doing, so he'd try and be really quick about it and quieter. But I don't think that applies in See No Evil 2. I mean, we're at a morgue in the middle of nowhere, and I'm quite certain Goodnight does not give two hoots about who might be hearing him off somebody. So, yeah, it's just one of those cheesy things. I saw this at the end of Jason Goes to Hell, actually. In that film, Jason fights this guy with glasses who's just a complete wimp, but suddenly it's a big, long fight that's going on forever. Jason's throwing him this way and that way, and I'm thinking, why? Why not just kill him? Because it's the end of the movie, that's why, and this is the final boy. But anyway, returning to our movie, Seth ultimately gets killed and Jacob Goodnight gets away. Yes, he gets away. How ridiculous is that and annoying? I can't even tell you how much it pisses me off that we don't get to see him burned alive or melted with acid or crushed to death or something else that would have been really satisfying. And isn't it ironic that in the first movie there were all these unlikable characters and 3 of them got to escape? In this movie, there are all these really nice characters and none of them get to escape. So yeah, it's not a very satisfying way to conclude. I almost feel like there should be a See No Evil 3 maybe, where we do get the satisfying ending, but then there's another part of me that thinks, no, don't wish that. Don't wish it. Just quit while you're behind. Move on. Don't wish anything that you're going to regret. It's like being in a casino, knowing that you're losing. You just want to stay for one more bet in the hope that things will get better. But no, we cannot have that train of thought. We need to just move on from these films. If Goodnight gets away, fine, but we do not want to see any more. No, we don't. Strangely, this film actually reviewed quite well. It got 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it got nominated for awards and things. I wrote some of them down. So at the Fright Meter Awards, Katharine Isabelle was nominated for Best Actress, didn't win it. I don't know who did win. I don't even know these awards, but apparently they exist. At the Blood Guts UK Awards, Karj Erik Eriksen was nominated for Best Actor. And at the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, Katharine Isabelle again, I think she won this time. So, yeah, no mention of Danielle Harris, no mention of Kane's incredible performance as Jacob Goodnight. What were they thinking? But yeah, Katharine Isabelle plays this really slutty, drunken girl who, for some reason, is obsessed with the idea of having sex in the same room as a serial killer. Honestly, I can't think of anything more depraved than the idea of a girl who is turned on by doing it in the same room as Jacob Goodnight. Even with a girl as hot as her, Katharine Isabelle, I'm not sure I could go there. But anyway, different strokes for different folks, as they say. Right, you know what, let's get to the bag of terror and just wrap this up. Right, there's actually some things in this bag. It can't be the right one for a See No Evil film. Where's the right one? Oh, maybe it is the right one. Right, we've got 1.5 axes for See No Evil 2. That is an improvement over the first movie, which scored just half an axe, but still, it's still a poor movie. I would not recommend it unless you are the sort of person who has hundreds of hours to watch all kinds of different horror films. I really would not go for this. I would just watch something else. You know, part of the whole reason for reviews to exist is, whether they're professional or amateur, is to warn you about bad films so that you don't watch them. Okay, so take my word on this one. Don't watch See No Evil. Don't watch See No Evil 2 unless you're some kind of Danielle Harris or Katharine Isabelle completionist. That's how the movie got me. Don't be like me. Okay, if I can save one soul, all this would have been worth it. Right, I'll leave it there for today. I'll see you next time for another review. This thankfully concludes my See No Evil season. What a horrible season it was. Cheerio, bye-bye.